Hi everybody. Today we're going to read an old favorite again, and its title is Brave Norman, A True Story. And it was written by Andrew Clements and illustrated by Ellen Beyer. Now, since you've already heard this story, we're going to do something different this time. We're going to start out by looking at the illustrations, some of them, and retell the story. Good readers do that. It helps them to understand the story better. When you strengthen your memory, it helps you become a better reader. So we're going to retell this story by looking at some of the illustrations. And then we're going to go ahead and read it again. So remember where this story starts off. Where are they? And what happened here? Now, are you wondering what happens next? Are you thinking about it? Here he is with his family. Now, something very important is about to happen. What do you think it is? Think. I wonder. I remember. Yeah. Remember where they are here? And why are they there? Now, here's the most important part of the story. Think, what happens next? Should I show you the picture? I will. That one, and this one. I want you to stop the video now and go and tell somebody everything you remember about the story so far. Okay. And then I want you to think, what happens next? I'm not going to show you any more illustrations right now. Just stop and think, what happens next? And then go tell somebody. Okay, here we go. We're going to start the story. The actual words of the story. Brave Norman, A True Story. Steve McDonald wanted another pet for his family. He went to an animal shelter. He saw many dogs, he saw many cats, and then he saw Norman. Steve said, "That's the one." The shelter people said, "No one wanted this dog. We are very happy you picked him." So was Norman. I want you to think, why do you suppose nobody wanted Norman? How would that feel? Maybe Norman didn't know. Maybe he did. Norman loved his new family. He loved Steve, he loved Annette, he loved little Paul, and he loved Lucy, the family's other dog. Norman followed Annette and Paul and Lucy around all day. He went to the park with them, and he loved going to the beach. But one day, Norman started what? Remember? Bumping into things, right? Where are they now? The family took him to the animal doctor. The doctor said, "This dog is going blind, and there's nothing we can do." The family took Norman home. Wow. How do you suppose the family felt just then when they realized he was going blind? What do you suppose they were thinking about what his life would be like now? Friends said, "Poor dog. Are you sure you want to keep him?" Annette said, "We love Norman. We will take care of him no matter what." Now that is called loyalty, when you will love somebody no matter what. I know you felt that way about people. You feel that way about your families, I'm sure. It was not always easy having a blind dog. He bumped into things. He was scared of noises. He barked when people came near. Lucy was old and very kind. She knew Norman needed help. Lucy walked close to him. Then Norman did not bump into things. So when have you been kind like that to somebody when they needed you? Do you have a little brother or sister that you've been kind to? Norman still went to the beach. At the beach, there were no trees to hit. There were no cars to scare him. Norman ran and ran. Perfect place for Norman, right? Now, this is the big part of the story. Think about what's happening next. I wonder what will happen. I remember what will happen. One day, Annette and her mom took little Paul to the beach. Norman came too. Suddenly, Norman ran off. And why? He ran into the water and started swimming. Then Annette saw something. What did Annette see? A girl was far out in the water. She was having trouble. She had called for help. No one had heard her except Norman. The girl kept calling, and Norman kept swimming. When Norman got close, the girl grabbed his tail. Annette watched Norman. Norman was helping the girl, but he was swimming the wrong way. And why was that? Yeah, because he was blind. He didn't know which way to go. Annette called, "Norman, here, boy." Norman swam toward the beach. He was pulling the girl. Now what happens next? But the girl was very tired. She let go of Norman's tail. Now what? Remember? Norman tried to find the girl. He swam around and around. Annette yelled to the girl, "Call him! His name is Norman!" "Norman! Norman!" called the girl. Norman came near. The girl grabbed him again. This time she did not let go. And you know how the story ends. Norman pulled the girl out of the water. People helped her onto the beach. The girl was cold and scared, but she was safe. Norman had saved her life. And there's one more part. Do you remember what it is? Think. I wonder. Oh, I remember. Norman used to be the dog that no one wanted. People used to feel sorry for Norman because he was blind. Now there are books about him. He has been on TV. Being blind did not stop Norman from being brave. Being blind did not stop Norman from helping. Now Annette is training Norman to visit hospitals. Norman can make children laugh. Norman can help sick people feel a little better. Norman is a true animal hero. And I want you to think about something. You are all heroes. How are you heroes right now? You are heroes by bravely staying away from your friends so the virus doesn't get spread around more. And it's very hard to do, and I know you're lonely sometimes, and I know you miss your friends, I know you miss school, but you're being brave, and you're doing something very important. So thank yourself for that. And you can actually Google Brave Norman. You can find this actual story in a newscast on the internet. It's when this actually happens. They did a news story about him. Thank you for listening to the story, reading it with me, and for telling the story to yourself and to somebody else. You take care, and we'll see you soon.